We are live. All right, everyone. We are live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. We are live on TikTok. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Come one, come all. We are David and Tammy Morrison, and we are here for Sunday service with the Morrisons, where tonight we're going to talk about stressors in life and how to navigate that as couples or partners or relationships. Wherever you find yourself, we're talking to you. So, David's going to get started and we're going to talk a little bit about those stressors. And if you have any questions, make sure you hit us up. If you are watching on TikTok, make sure you're tapping that screen for us. We thank you for that. And let's go.
Let us know what time in the evening it is in your area or morning. Keep in mind, being on these lives, you're worldwide, not just local. So try to fit in a little bit with the different time zones you're dealing with people. And late night, early night, early morning, sometime even next day. Over here in the Great Seattle area, it's after 5-ish, close to 6, right? 6 p.m. The weather is like, let us know what it's like in your area. It's
rainy.
Yeah, it's drizzling. It's not really raining. Um, Probably 50 is. Humidity is pretty high.
Says.
Yeah. So feel free to subscribe, share, tap, gifts.
If you're on Facebook stars.
Yeah. So what are we talking about tonight?
Stressors.
Yeah.
In relationship and how to navigate them.
Yeah. And how to navigate them.
Yeah.
To begin with, a lot of our stresses come from the jobs and the work we do in life. Only because we let it.
Yeah.
You know, it's not. It is what it is. It's what you make it. Many times we stress thinking about tomorrow. I come off of my time off, and I was a little concerned about what time I should be there tomorrow to relieve another person. And I wasn't really stressed over, but I looked up my schedule and see that I didn't have to be there early. And also, one of the things that help my stresses is constantly thinking about how prepared I am for retirement. You know, military retirements prepare you for civilian life in so many ways. You know, having your medical, having residual income. So that gives me peace at work. I've even had to tell people that I'm not in it for the overtime, what have you, but I'm a team player. So if we have to do it, I do it. So it feels good. That relieves me from so much stress. And sometimes just being silent about things and not always putting yourself or inserting yourself in things such as a stressing situation. You know, be that partner, but step back and think about what you're gonna do. Step back and think about your next move. Take some meditative breath, deep breath. You know, 4 breath in, 4 breath out. Whatever worked for you.
Yes.
Even before you open your mouth in this day and age, you know, we on camera everywhere we go, so we have to act like we're in front of a camera almost anything we do in life, because the world is not forgiving.
Right.
You know, any organized religion or what have you stress about forgiveness, especially the Christian, the Muslim, and the Jewish religion. Stress about that. Um, but as human beings, we're not really natural forgivers. So you have to watch what you let leak out, and once it's out there, you can't really stress about it. You just have to deal with it.
Yes, absolutely.
So those are some of the things that helped me in life. And we just recently read an article. Uh, 10 years from now, people will be living to not
Oh,
living.
it was a TikTok or something,
But yeah,
or Instagram or something.
yeah, Instagram.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but it was one of those scientific articles that say with about 10 years or so, people will be working, not living to 120. And we can't imagine that. We're at the age now where we we thought about 62 retirement, and we think about some people in our family that took it. We don't know if you are familiar with the retirement system. You can't totally depend on Social Security, so you have to have something else. If you do what you can to keep going for a while if you have to. But that percentage drops down tremendously if at 62. If you stress it to 64, it picks up a little bit better. At 65, even better. And most ages now, it's almost 67 before you can make as much as you want in the workforce. But some people don't really work out, diet, or really take care of themselves. They talk about grinding,
Yeah.
but they don't talk about what you need to
The
do,
hustle.
the hustle, the grind,
Hmm.
what you need to do to take care of yourself to continue that on or to live afterward.
Right.
Um, and our fields of work, we see a lot of people younger
Yep.
and our age and older, a little bit older, that just don't make it or they retire and they're gone from the planet because of the stress in
Right
life.
after.
You get with a good counselor, even a good organization for retirees in your field, and you learn how to stay active. It sounds simple, but our bodies aren't made to sit around. Even when we work out, it's not really enough. It'll add life, but it's not really enough. We're supposed to be grounding. Our feet are made to be on dirt, on sand, on the
Yes.
grass, in the farms. Our feet are not made to just be in the house or on the carpet or on the wood floors.
Shoes.
It's made to really ground your body. The earth has energy, and the
Yes.
energy is real. It's not a made up thing.
Yeah.
And we try to get around to the water as a
Yes.
stress relief too. We get out there, and the water. I don't know. Some of you don't know about the water, the difference between the water in the Pacific and in the East.
In the Atlantic.
The Atlantic is much warmer.
Warm.
You get out here in the Pacific, you see the kids that's born here. They're in the water almost no matter what weather it is.
But you get frostbite.
But yeah, even in the summer, you
Woo.
you jump in, you put your feet in that water. But it's good to get your feet in there at least.
Yeah.
If you can go ahead and just ground yourself any kind of way. These are good ways to kind of de
Yes.
stress.
And hiking. A lot of people they like the
Especially here,
mountains. Yeah,
yeah.
especially here.
Yeah.
A lot of people like the mountains. They like to hike and stuff like that. And I think that is amazing because, anything that's going to get you out in nature. And for some of us, you might not have access to any of that, but you have a backyard. So you can go outside and ground outside in your backyard and put your feet, in the dirt or put your feet in the grass or whatever. But I mean, there's so many different ways. And I know for me, a lot of times, especially in the last probably year, I've been really when I go to bed, I meditate before I go to sleep. And I know what y'all thinking. You don't have to sit with sit all the way straight up with your feet on the floor, hands up like this here. You do not have to meditate like that. You can meditate laying right in your bed because I do it every single night and most mornings
It's
before
called
I even
sleep
get up.
sometimes.
Now, sometimes you will go to sleep while you're
Right.
meditating, but that's not a bad thing. It means that you went to sleep, in a positive vibration. Your frequency is high, and whatever you set your intention in before that time, it might be a question that you have to ask. Something that you need to know, And once you do that, sometimes when you wake up in the morning, you'll hear the answer, or you'll see the answer, or somebody will speak the answer to you, but the answer will show up for you. And I'm a living witness of that, because I'm telling you, I was dealing with some stuff um just recently, and I went to sleep, and when I was sleeping, I kept for some reason waking up, like probably about every 2 hours or something. I was waking up. Yes. And I wake up. And so when I woke up, instead of, messing around or, getting on my phone or whatever, I just pulled up some meditation music, and I just put it on, and I started meditating. And then what I do also is I speak life to my body. I speak life to my cells. I command my body to be um, a wellness making machine. I speak life to my nervous system. And so I was doing that, and as I did that, I asked a question, because I was dealing with some pain, on my leg. And so I was like, okay, what is this? What is this? And so I asked the question, and then I went back to meditating. I went back to, praying and thanking God for, everything and all the things in my life, and all the things that even that I desire. But I did that. And then the answer came, what was going on with my leg. And it was amazing to me, because when you really begin to try to ground, and really connect to your spirit team, to God, to the universe, the source, whatever you call him, her, or them. But when you begin to do that, you'll get answers to things that you didn't even know that you could get answers to. And also it's going to release and relieve and take down your stressors as well. And then you can be the person that you're supposed to be for your partner. You can be the person that you're supposed to be for your kids. You can be the person that you're supposed to be at your job. It affects every area of your life. And we truly believe as couples, because David and I actually meditate sometimes together. And I think it's a really good tool for, people that are in partnership or in relationships to do, because it puts you on the same page sometimes. Hey, Tiffany, thank you for joining. And um, so that is one of the things that I'm going to say about the stressors and helping to relieve those things. And then also, what we feel too is there's nothing that we can't talk about. David and I talk about everything. Now, I know that there were times when we first got together that I was afraid to talk to him about some things, because they were very sensitive and I didn't know how he was going to react. But once he he got it out of me, right?
Yes.
Once he got it out of me and I started talking about it, I was like, okay, and he was very, very calm and very receptive of some of the things that I was saying. And I shared some things that were really sensitive to me. And, some things that in the past other people had not understood. But, by us being so connected and being honestly, for each other from the beginning of time, that actually played a part as well, because he was able to, be my rock and be my support, and actually listen to some of the things that I said that some people haven't listened to before. And so that is one of the things that, I am just super excited about, and we love to share. And that's one of the reasons why we come on here and talk to you guys, because we know that, we are going through some things, or if we have gone through some things, that we can help you all with it as well. Because, you know, there are so many divorces and things happening now. So many people just is splitting up, and sometimes it's not really any reason for it. Or sometimes it's because they didn't talk, or didn't feel like they could talk to each other, communication. Or they had stressors, stressors together. And instead of realizing that when you stress together, then you stress together. You have the other person for support. If there are things that you're feeling, sometimes you want to share those feelings. Sometimes you just want to talk about it. And you want to say, hey, babe, I need to talk about this. And sometimes it's not because you need answers from the other person. You just need to talk it out. And sometimes you do want answers from another person. And if that's the case, then that's the kind of sharing that you do. But I think it's amazing, with that, and especially like David was saying before, if you will find a way to ground and stay grounded. What else you got to say, babe?
You know, some of the younger couples that I've met on here, and we hold conversation. We go back and forth. I've noticed some of the things you do. You that this is not singling anyone out. This is just something you can do to help. We have about 90 years plus of a relationship experience together, so we feel like we could share some stuff. Is that don't worry about people on the outside of your relationship, what they say, how they act. Uh, I'm gonna take this person away from you, and don't feed into that negative power other people have. That's something me and Tammy are quite comfortable with. Tammy's a fine woman. In her younger days, she had to have a whipping stick to keep some of the fellows off because she was a she's an athlete and and I'm not blind to that. I worked out all my life and still work out and she's not blind to that. And plus, we both enjoy looking at people and we share how they look or what we think and we don't have a problem. So be comfortable with your other, knowing that their head may turn or they may give someone a compliment or give somebody a like or a heart somewhere. Uh, and if the other person take it in the wrong way, don't get bent because you know how your relationship you have that security. Don't add that stress to your life, being concerned about whether your partner is gonna walk away or not, or somebody's gonna steal. That's that's something you just have to be comfortable with. If you're not, you have to accept the outcome
Yeah.
because there's no need to stress over it. And that helped us a lot because one thing I said to Tammy here is, and I repeat this quite often, is that it's nothing she can do, share, or whatever to get me to walk away. And I don't mean that it won't hurt me, but at the same time, I love this woman so much I couldn't imagine myself just giving up. And there's things
And
that,
she love you too.
amen. There's things that you're gonna go through in life. It's gonna challenge your relationship. Look at Steve Harvey. Regardless what side you're on of that or whatever, but you can see that love and like the whole outside world jumped on their relation, jumped on that bandwagon, and it may not be for us and you. It may not be the world, but it seems like the world because it's the closest people to you. It's friends, it's family, it's coworkers. Soon as something been in your relationship, they a lot of people are waiting for you to be buried.
For your downfall.
And so you have to be able to back away from that. You have to be able to, to sometimes don't even ease away from it, just run away from it. Be like Joseph was when he walked in the room with the governor's wife, and she wanted him so bad because he was a handsome dude. She grabbed his robe, and he was like, "No, this man raised me up and treated me well, brought me to his home. I'm not gonna lay with you." And he ran away and left part of his clothing in her hand. Of course, she used that against him, but the whole story is it turned around for good for him. But sometimes you have to run that quick. You have to just turn around. You see it, it's negative. Get away from it. Get
Hmm.
away from it together and be able to be that person. It's just like when somebody blackmailing you. especially in some fields that I've dealt with, having a high security clearance or whatever, somebody finds something out about you, the best thing to do is report it. It might make you look bad. It might even get rid of. But a lot of time when you report it, it won't get you jail time. It won't get you. Sometimes it'll help you keep your pension. It'll get you to stay in. But it's an easier way out. But if you try to hide it, it goes deeper, because that person, just like holding your hostage, they always want more.
Mm-hmm.
So the good thing is to trust one another. Be that person. Don't sweat the outside world.
Right.
It's you and you and your partner against the world. It's not it can't be no other kind of way. It can't be no third person. I'm gonna dig a little deep. It can't even be children, because your children are gonna grow up and leave. And well, yeah, and we hope, and sometimes there's situations where they have to come back. But I'm just saying, is you and you, your kid. Hey, it's a good thing, but at the same time, you don't put nobody before your relationship, before your marriage. Just don't do it. For some of you, that's deep, but for us, it's common sense. We help them any kind of way we can.
Yeah, it's life.
Yeah, and we've even accepted one back before, and we understand that life happened.
Yeah,
but it gives us. It's one of our de-stressors in life. We're able to lay that out. We got that trust. We could have a conversation with other people and not worry about the other one, what's going to be said or whatever when we walk away.
What's going to be done.
Yeah, we could joke and we could laugh out loud, and we could, just like your father said, I know how to work a room. It's part of military leadership too, going to military balls, dealing with the Pentagon, dealing with high official, working some of you don't know what it's like to work for a command battle force. You work with the 2 and 3 star, and you work with the high officials in the other countries. So you have to learn how to work your environment. You have to learn how to have that personality. And all the time, things aren't what they appear. So as partners, you have to accept that. You have to come to peace with it in order to be together. It's not you have to accept it. You don't have to do anything except pay taxes and die. But yeah, but at the same time, if you want a relationship to work, you want to learn how to work the room and come back to your partner and be done with it. We did it on our wedding day. We were planning 20 people.
I didn't think we got to eat, did we?
I think we nibbled.
Yeah, barely.
Yeah.
we ended up wrapping our food up.
If we hadn't a dance on our wedding day, we hadn't a dance on our wedding song coming in the door, because it was over 60 people or so.
Yeah, about 60 people.
We planned for 20, but we hadn't a dance our song coming in the door. We wouldn't have got a chance to dance even, because we were busy working the room. Tammy was working one part of the room. I was working one part. And my dad-in-law, he actually noticed. He said, "Oh, he's good at it."
A compliment,
right? But you have to be that. Yeah, you have to be that person, and comfortable with dealing with both or whatever sex it is. We're dealing in a world of great variety.
Yes.
So just be that person. Be comfortable. Be a Yeshua, a Jesus sort of person on this earth, able to just deal with anyone and just show people love just because they're people. It's not enough of us like that. And sometimes, because of the way me and Tammy are, we realize that we bring light to wherever we come, because that's what we're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I even tell Tammy, I said, man, that's a lot of stress they throwing at you. Back up a little bit, because everybody love this woman present when she come in the room. She's like her grandmother. Her grandmother was a great prophet. When she come in, sometimes people just don't want to give anything. They just want to take. And sometimes she's exhausted when she comes home, when we come from events or what have you, and she don't even realize, that she was being stressed. But a good partner noticed that, and sometimes um, she accepts it now, but right away when we first got together, she didn't accept the fact that there's some people in her life that she just had to back all the way back from, because all they were takers. They called themselves friends, but they were takers, never given anything. And Tammy's a giver, so she's a mother, she's a nurturer, she's a grandmother, and people sense that, and sometimes
They'll suck you dry if you let them.
exactly. And even in my job, sometimes it calls for me to deal with harsh people, but I have to deal with them in a godlike way. Meaning, some people, the smart people, know that I'm a good mentor, and I'm always looking for the best for that person, because I don't take a job now because I'm in need. I take a job now so I can help people. And I always throw a joke out there sometimes, because people will say, hey, I really appreciate how nice you are. Da, da, da. I say, hey, don't let that get out. But I make a joke of it. But at the same time, people appreciate that. But at the same time, also, people will try to manipulate that. So there's a fine line, and it's a stressor sometimes. But when you flow, you flow. Because just like Tupac said, if you're phony, you can't be phony, but so long.
That's right.
Because that young prophet, he said because you're gonna be exposed sooner or later.
Yeah.
And that was a young man speaking that,
So deep.
Yeah, it is. And in life, that the best way to be is be calm around your situations. Don't let people rattle you so easy. And I see. We hear the songs. We see the people. See the people on the social media, and it's not just younger people, but it's many people. They hold on to stressful sayings. They hold on to things. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. They hold on to stuff that's embedded in their heart, and you put the wrong thing in your heart. Guess what? This is where cancer and all kind of other diseases come from.
Autoimmune.
You don't want to hold on to it. You don't want to hold on to, So you're careful about what you speak and how you act, and these are things that become natural and take the stress off you just by practicing. And I actually teach people that I work around, just take a breather. Don't take it personal. We're going home in this many hours. So let's handle it a different way.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I think that's our mission in life, is especially in the workplaces, to help people to see things in an easy, non-stressful way, because there's so many ways in life to not speak that on yourself, not hold on to it, not holding on to it is what it is, but it is what you make it. Realize the power in you.
Yes.
The power in you, and the hope of glory that's in you.
Yes.
Because it's powerful when you realize
who you are.
Yeah, that we were put on the planet to do greater works.
To take dominion.
Right. And take dominion, like Genesis 1:26 said. But it's greater work that we're supposed to do. And a lot of people don't see themselves being greater than the prophets, being greater than the disciples, being great, doing greater work even than Jesus himself showed on this planet.
Mm-hmm.
Some people think that's blasphemous, but it's the way it was meant to be. We were poured into for this time.
Well, he was here, as an example.
Right.
We were supposed to follow that lead.
Right.
Whether you believe, whatever you believe,
Right.
we already know that. We know he was a great master teacher. And so we were here to follow his lead, and we're supposed to do greater than he did. But you know what the greater work really is? The greater work is overcoming yourself, overcoming your ego, overcoming all of that self-doubt and all of the things that that you may feel about yourself. That's the greater work in order to be able to step into whatever your destiny is, whatever it is, being of service to the world. Those are greater works that we are supposed to do. And so, you can either, you have decisions to make. You can decide whether or not, you want to follow that, or you want to, step into your destiny, or, if you want to be, because some people are put here to be workers, and we're not knocking that, and that's just what people are here to do. But, if you know that you have a greater destiny, then it's time to start stepping into it and start, recognizing that. And then also being with your partner, your significant other, and actually being, supportive, and actually helping them to do whatever it is they need to do. Like, I can honestly say, David gets up early in the morning to go to work, and I don't get up that early. So I do try to help him the night before to prepare and have, everything prepared in his bag, and, stuff he could just grab out the refrigerator or whatever, so that, it makes it easy for him, and I know that is a help. And so I really do try to be that help. So, and I said that to say that is something that takes the stress off of him. And so if I can be that person that is helping to take the stress off of him, you know what I'm saying? That's what I gotta do, and that's what I be. And that's what I get to do. Because I love him so much. And I don't want him to be stressed. And that's how we should feel about our partners. We should feel like, you know what, this is my person, and I love them, and I don't want them to be stressed. So what can I do to help to take the stress off of them? What can I do so that they can feel better? What can I do that so that their day goes smoother? How can I help to make, whatever it is that they're doing, good?
And that worked both ways, because when we did shift work, Tammy worked one and I worked another. And one of our children came back home, got to experience our love, because Tammy would come home, no matter how exhausted I was, to a hot meal, because I would get up and make sure that everything was set and prepared, because seeing her wind down helped me from not being stressed also.
Yeah.
And servitude becomes a de-stressor also. It becomes it becomes a relief,
Yeah.
because we were made to give back, and it started at home. And many of you, just like us, we've had good and bad experience inside the building they call the church, not the body, but the building itself. Uh, um, from people starting that servitude in the church and never having it at home, and it's important to have that at home, to have your partner, regardless of which way it goes, uh, in a comfortable position. A lot of people don't like to reciprocate, uh, but it's good. It feels so good to do that. It feels so good to be in that position. And you teach people around you, regardless whether it's your children, whether it's family, whether it's or even strangers.
And you don't have to say a thing.
Right,
They just see it,
right.
because we could go places and people think we've been married 50 years. And you know what? We have.
Before the foundation of the world.
Because somebody asked us that the other day, right?
Right.
I like that. You were like, well, but it's been, and it's been like that from the beginning, just because I could feel his love for me. And that was what I needed so much. I needed his love and I needed his support, in ways that I never had in the past. And, I feel like I'm that for him. I feel like we both feel like if we had had each other a long, long time ago, then some things would have been different in our life, but we don't worry about that and we don't stress over it. But we actually do discuss it because we feel like it's valid discussion,
Right.
but sometimes, you just have to roll with stuff, and one thing about us is, David will start it and I'll follow his lead, or I'll start it and he'll follow my lead. And it's just so amazing, to be like that, and when I see him stressed, I love to offer to give him a bath. I love to offer to run him some bath water. Like when he's on his way from work or something, and I know he's coming straight home, and he's tired. He had a long day. It's 12, 13 hours, 14 hours by the time he get home. And, I run him a tub, because I have these amazing bath soaks that I created.
It's amazing.
Amazing. And, the hardest thing is what?
Getting out the tub. Because when she does do that, I have to be careful because if you scroll, even with these new iPhones, that's supposed to be waterproof. You don't really want to drop them in there.
Mm-hmm.
And you definitely don't want to doze off with it in your hand. So I kind of lean over a little bit or make sure it's at chest level. But at the same time, it's a wonderful feeling, and it don't go unnoticed. It don't go unappreciated. Uh, it's just helpful in life to have someone caring and all that stuff and all those wonderful things that it de-stresses. And a lot of times we add our own stress because we don't accept that as it is. We don't accept that goodness as it is. We try to find fault in each other instead of seeing the goodness. We let outside forces interfere with the good thing we have going on between us.
Yes.
Uh, and I see that so much now. It's I'm concerned about what they're thinking about us or what we're looking like in front of them. I'm thinking about it can go on and on.
Yep. It could be a long list.
Outside forces, it's like something we really stay away from. And we even had some friends this evening. We wanted to meet. We were going to go out swimming and everything. Well, this afternoon, and we were thinking about a lunch and all of this stuff. And we just told them early this morning. We have some things that sometimes you just gotta back out of things like that. We had a legit reason why we did it.
Yeah.
Like Tammy told you, she had a few struggles and we had to address it. So
yeah.
That's a real thing.
Yeah.
But life goes on and people have to understand.
And y'all, I even apologized to him.
She didn't have to.
I know I did. I felt bad because I said, I know he wanted to go out and meet these people because we met him before, right?
Right.
And so we were gonna actually spend some time with them. We met him at an event.
Yeah.
And I actually felt bad because I was like, oh, because I said I just can't do it, because I have a situation going on and it really wasn't going to be a good thing. And so I was grateful that we were able to go and follow up on it and stuff like that. But I still kind of felt bad, because we were going to go out and do this thing. And I told him, and he said, what you say?
I basically said it wasn't a big deal with me, so I just said, hey, we pick it up another time.
Yeah.
We take care. take care of you first. It's also because we enjoy the outdoors. We don't feel like we get out as much, but we don't punish ourselves for it. Whenever we get a chance to be in water, we're like there. Um, and as you know, nobody really gets out as much as they want to, hardly. And right now we're going through a process. You talk about stresses. If you let it stress, it would be a serious stress. We looked at this wonderful home. We told a few people, and a few people, "Did you get it? Did you get it?" And and every the template was laid out. Everything was supposed to happen, but guess what? That wasn't ours. And we, but we're in a position that we have to keep reminding ourselves where we don't need to move. We just decided we're in a. I don't know if some of you can imagine what it's like living close to Seattle. It's small, so we want to move away from that area because we've never lived in a small place before together, and we're sort of like, we have the resources. Let's enjoy life until things happen the way we want to happen. You know, we're in a process of beginning to build and all of this stuff. So let's get some comfort while we're waiting, because many people, and this is a stressor too, because you're waiting for tomorrow.
Yes.
As a combat veteran, we learn to live in the moment, and that's important for life because it's nothing guaranteed. You're waiting till tomorrow to travel. You're waiting until you retire to do this. You're
Always
waiting
waiting.
until your children grow up to do this. You're waiting for a divorce to do this. You're waiting till you get older to do this. But we try to live more in the moment.
Yeah.
If we want to do something, we just, with a little bit of planning, but we just do it. We early this year we decided we wanted to go to Canada, and we said, you know what? Let's not drive up to Canada. Let's put our vehicle on a boat and take our vehicle over there so we can be able to travel. So we went to Victoria, British Columbia, and
Yeah.
it was the most beautiful, peaceful
Yeah.
place. I mean, it was like two. We went south from where we lived, so it was about 2 hour drive there, and about less than a 2 hour
That's
ride
what
on
I
the
figured
boat.
out. Yeah.
And our money was more than theirs at the time. I think it's maybe still is, and so we gassed up before we got over there, and we stayed less than 30 minutes from downtown, which was a lot different in price. But we loved it. We enjoyed it. The
I was almost ready to move.
ride, and we seen some Americans that moved, and the retirement system over there is wonderful. And the seafood we ate was like, when we both come from the coast, Tammy from Georgia, me from NYC, and the place to be, and we were used to fresh seafood, but we've never tasted seafood
Oh, that
like
level.
that where we can taste the salt
It
water
was so good.
and the seafood. Yeah, so it was a beautiful thing. We just but we do those things. We get up and we drive from here across country. We done it twice to Mississippi, New Orleans.
Yep.
Uh, but we just do it.
Hmm.
And then we have family. When we drive to Mississippi, they be like, uh, I, we be coming all the way from New York. We can't drive that far. Or they be in Florida because we had a big thing where we had to meet in Mississippi. Uh, uh, um, they be in Florida talking about, oh, we all the way in Florida. We can't drive to Mississippi. And we be like,
We
wait,
laugh.
we drove from Washington State 30 something hours.
40,
Yeah, 40. And you're talking about what?
12 hours.
Well, New York is about 18 hours, depending.
Still less than 20.
Right. And then Florida was about 4 to 6 hours from where we were.
No, I'd have been
Yeah, about. So we were like,
in
and
disbelief.
and then people ask us this crazy question: how could you do that with each other all the way across the country? And we like look at each other and say, how could we not? I mean, we threw the weights in the back, so, some dumbbells. We stopped and we walked, we exercised, we stretched because it's easier to get blood clots. I don't care what age you are, you can get, things happen with
On
your
long
abdominals.
trips.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you get up, you stretch, you walk, you work out. We did our dumbbell thing. I'm
I
push
dance.
ups is my thing. Yeah, Tammy dance. But we enjoyed ourselves and we got to know each other. We didn't think we could know each other more, but we got to know each other all over again, and it was just peaceful. You
Yeah,
know,
we did it twice.
yeah, we did it twice. We learned not to just listen to the GPS and drive from Washington across the north because you will be challenged almost any time of year to after April. Where weather will change, and we had it
Snow and hail.
in was it South Dakota and Missouri,
Utah.
South Dakota and Missouri, and maybe a little bit of Utah. But
Mm-hmm.
we got iced out. I think in Missouri. Was it?
Was it Missouri?
Yeah, it might have been. But we learned to just drive south across the country when you travel. You know,
Go down through the desert.
yeah, Texas don't play, so don't mess with them. You know, I got much respect for Texas. I love Texas, but they don't play. So if you see the limit, you just chill and you just do it. And some of them other places too, But at the same time, um, but it's wonderful, and you might get a little snow in Arizona when you go through Flagstaff,
Oh yeah.
but you'll be out before you know it at certain times of year. But we just learned to de-stress that way. We said, wait, we don't want to get on the plane and be stressed. We already learned how to travel with a backpack, one backpack apiece,
In the carry
and one carry-on. And we learned to travel with less, with thin clothes. We throw the coats on or whatever to keep us warm on the plane, and we take them off when we have to, and we just carry our bags. And we don't check bags, so you be stressed or looking for your bag.
hoping they got your bags.
The thing we learned though is nowadays the rental car companies are overbooking. So I don't care if you're a gold member or a triple star member.
Diamond,
Yeah,
platinum, whatever, elite.
you will wait in line for a rental car. So we tried to drive anywhere from Washington State within 600 or 800 miles. We probably driving, unless we really have to be there. But
Right,
those
unless
are
we gotta
our
go quick.
de-stresses in life, though.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
really, just it's really all in having comfort with each other, and then also making sure that you are a person that is supportive, of the other one, and all of that, because you go out in the world and you deal with so much stuff, on your job, in the store with these crazy homeless people and these walking dead people and all this kind of stuff. You deal with so much stuff. So when you come home, you want to come home to peace. You want to come home to somebody that loves you, somebody that can support you. Your dreams and your visions and the things. I can't tell you how happy I am because this man supports me in my dreams. And I know sometimes to me they be crazy, but he supports me, and I'm super excited about that because I never had that before. And vice versa. Anything he wants to do, I'm supportive. I don't care what it is. I'm him. I'm his ride or ride. And we just heard that on the show, y'all, because ride or die is so negative. So we don't want to put that out there. You remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm his ride and ride. So.
Right.
So you come for him, you come for me. That's how that is. Same thing, you know. But yeah, if you would just really, start learning how to love each other, and that also includes your love languages. Like I know his love language is touch, and I know that that is how he feels the love. That's his love language. For me, my love language is travel. Probably, I guess you could say, gifts, but I'm not even really that big particular about that. I said I just like to travel, and I'm not a planner in that way particularly.
Wherever there's water.
And he is absolutely water's number one, but I'm not a planner in that way. But he is.
She really is. Tammy Tammy is a woman that can do almost anything.
Baby. Okay, so let me say this. I don't really enjoy that part of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he does. And so and that's the other part too. We talked about this on another Sunday service about really allowing people to step into their particular gifts. Whatever it is that they're doing, you know, just let them step into their particular gifts and don't worry about, genders or whatever, anything like that. So if he likes, he can cook. And so he does a lot of the cooking.
Exactly.
And I don't have a problem with that. Not that I can't cook, but he enjoys it. I don't have a problem with it, and certain things. And so you have to kind of make those concessions and consider that, and I know it's certain things that I can do that I just step up and do just because I know I can do it. I do it well, and I enjoy doing it, and that to me takes a lot of stress out of the relationship as well, because you don't have to worry about, oh, you're this one, so you got to do all the cooking and you got to do all the cleaning. No, I mean, we do all of that stuff together typically, and I step back. I don't have a problem. And the thing is you have to be okay with that. You have to be okay with that, whatever it is. And don't worry about, just like you said earlier, what other people say. Leave other people out your damn house. That's what I'm going to say. Let them be in their house, you in your house. Personally, I believe in minding the business that pays me.
Right.
So, I'm gonna mind my business, you mind yours, and we'll all be okay, right? And that'll take the stress off of all of it. It'll take the stress way down. All right, so you ready to land this plane?
Yeah. Just keep in mind, stresses in life, we can let go of it. Um, don't even leave it at the door. Don't even bring it in the house. Don't even put it out on the outside of the house. Just leave it alone. It's not. It is what it is. It is what you make it.
Yeah.
We call those things that be not as though they were. We have the power to call in. We speak positive in life. We practice positive steps. Even when it don't appear as you want it, you just keep chipping away till you get it that way, and you don't even stress over that. You just say, "This too shall come to pass." Nothing lasts forever. And I had to learn that early in life because I went into the military, signed in by my mother at 17, and I felt when I seen injustice or I seen something not done right, I had to speak up. And my dad had to say, and I paid attention to it. He said, "It's the Lord that raised up leaders and bring them low," meaning no one's in position except if the divine wants them there. If they don't do right, they won't be there long.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not us to be that judge person, to be that person that worries.
Mm-hmm.
And when he said, "There's nothing that lasts forever except the Lord," I was like, wow. And I'm glad I caught it at an early age because I got challenged a few times. Some of you uh, heard of a place called Fort Jackson, South Carolina. At the time, they had a place on there called Tank Hill.
Ooh.
And Tank Hill was made to break people. And when they couldn't break me, they gave me some extra time in basic training, but they didn't know. Then they kind of regretted it because I enjoyed it, and nobody enjoyed basic training because I grew up with four brothers, and sometimes we had to share a bed, and have my own foot locker and a stand-up locker and a bed. I was like, whoa,
He was
I'm
in
living
heaven.
large. And I didn't have to break off, meals or nothing like it. It was big meals. And everybody around me practically complained, and I was nice and quiet finishing my food. And some of them back in the day was, they call it abuse now, but back in the day, if you talked in the chow hall and basic training, you were standing in the chair to finish the rest of your food.
Jesus.
And then you didn't really finish. They just did it to make you look like an idiot and want you attempt to. And then it was okay. You finish it. You get a few spoonfuls. But I was the silent person, and I learned. And I learned early in life to be slow to anger, slow to speak,
Yeah.
and realize I can't change everything around me all the time, but I can change myself to the circumstance.
Yeah.
And I learned to do that well. And I learned any job that I'd done, I did everything as unto the Lord. As to put it one way, I became an expert in every field that I chose. The last field in the military I chose was a field called damage control. I not only became an expert in damage control, but I became an instructor in our sister uh, um, job, which was hall technician, A school. So I trained them. I trained firefighters. I trained civilian firefighters. I trained our allies. Some of them are not our allies anymore. I'm like, wow, we trained these guys, and now they want to turn on us. But at the same time, I always studied, and I read, and I did things. I learned the uniform code of military justice like no one around me. No one, no matter what rank they was, they could quote the regulations and things without me knowing, because I was the expert, and I felt that every place I went, I needed to be that person. And as I climbed in rank, there wasn't too many people that I had to go to for knowledge. If it was in front of me, I read it. I knew it, I memorized it, and I practiced it. And not to say I still had stumbles, I still had things come at me, but you had to be pretty together to come against Morrison, because like I said earlier, there's a greater work that we do in this world. You know, we're people of the Most High. We're chosen people. When you realize that the stresses, the stresses start going away. When you realize what you are in control of, and that when people treat you wrong, there is a circle there where they have to deal with. When you're doing the best you can in life, and the best you can is not always everybody else's best, but you're in that meditative prayer. You know you know your heart. You know, you could be like Joseph. You could be like even Peter that spoke out of turn.
Like
You could be like Paul. And I'm naming these names. I'm not giving you the explanation of it. Paul was one of my favorite. He was first called Saul, and he prided himself of being
persecutor.
a Pharisee, a persecutor of uh, of God's people. And some people like to say Christians, but Christians didn't really exist back then. But a lot of people like to say that's a deeper thing.
Yeah, that's another life.
But but when he was blinded on the way to Damascus, he absolutely changed it. He changed his name and changed his ways.
Changed his life.
Yeah, he had to be blind and be able to see again. But when he opened his eyes, he seen the truth that he was on the wrong side. My wife just seen something funny. Maybe she'll share it with us.
Tiffany just asked a question.
What was the question?
Are you a pastor or minister?
We are. We all are. And matter of fact, we don't share this too much because we don't want people to put us in a box. We Tammy just got her degree,
Yeah.
and I also have mine. So yeah, we are ministers, and we all are chosen as a minister in life in some form. So
I wanted you to tell them what Take Hill was famous for.
𝐁𝐏 was famous for torture.
The movie.
Oh, Full Metal Jacket. It was filmed there. But that said, just to give you a little bit of my background, we studied in a faith. My brothers are Peter, Joseph, Joshua, Solomon, and I'm David. So we studied in a faith that was deeply embedded, where we had to do a lot of religious things.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, when I got in the military, and they were letting everybody off on Sunday, I said, "What about the Shabbat? Why am I getting off on Saturday? The seventh day." Because we grew up learning 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, and all that is in them is, and rested the seventh day. So that was a little shocker for me, because we grew up strict. This is why I don't get caught up in religious. I love my God, but I don't get caught up in the different ways people put my God in a box, and I don't like to get off of that. I believe in not pointing fingers at other people, not telling people how to live, maybe showing them from my way, but at the same time being open arm to everybody, like Jesus was. And a lot of people think Jesus, yeah, they think he ran and he hung out with righteous people,
the pastors and the bishops, and
but he didn't. He didn't get the rabbis. He didn't get the imams. He didn't get all the holy people. He showed love to everybody. And so many people nowadays say, you shouldn't be doing this, or you shouldn't be doing that, or you should be this way and not that way.
It's a whole lot of judgment.
We don't like to get caught up in that. So we have heart for people. And matter of fact, one of my favorite saying, it was a great person. He was the richest man that ever lived. Some people say other people was, but this man was known through history for the richest man that ever lived. His father was David, and he was King Solomon. He said a saying. He was a great king. But he was humble, and he would ask the Lord. He said, "Give me now wisdom and knowledge, for who can go before this thy people that is so great." And me, as being a military leader at the time, I learned to do and say that, and be humble enough to know that I learned from the people that I was placed over. I was more of a servant leader than a get it done, right? Because when you're a Navy company commander, you have so much responsibility. You're responsible for housing, for mental health. You're responsible for health itself. You're responsible for family, because we're all family in the military. So all these responsibilities fall on you. When you lead in that position, that means you could have over 200 people placed in that position. You're responsible. When something go wrong, and not to go too deep, we had something that went sideways pretty bad, where I didn't like to see anyone fail. So when I see somebody going off sideways a little bit, and growing up in Brooklyn, it helped me to be able to decipher and read a lot of things in people. And I seen these two guys together. They were toxic, so I tried to keep them separate. Gave them extra military instructions when needed. Some of you from the military know that. And I got a complaint, and I got called on the carpet And the next thing I knew, these two individuals did something to embarrass not just themselves but the Navy, because I was told to back off because I had insight. And you
Discount.
don't get discouraged.
Oh, I was gonna say this. Don't discount your insight.
Yeah, it also don't get discouraged if it don't work out because somebody don't respect your insight. Like even in the field I work now, I know
Mm.
um, uh, the way the world is bent toward negativity a lot of times now. Like we don't like to focus on that. Sometimes people can't receive instructions from me, even though I've been in the workforce over 50 years. Um, and I do have the
Or they just don't
retirement
have
and
no
I have the
respect.
experience. Yeah, exactly. And I don't like to put reason behind it or nothing like that. Whatever thought, but I see that and I give my input and I back off. If you don't take my input, it's you that's going to stumble, not me. And I've seen it because, like Tammy said, we have insight, we have intuition, we learn, and some of you military people, you military men and women, you can you can you survive from your insight, your intuition, and so you trust it for the rest of your life. When you see something, you know, and you don't doubt. And thank your brother for the Navy, for his service in the Navy, 20 years.
I'm
It's
so proud of him.
me too. It's something. None of you military people, no matter how long you were in there, don't take it for granted. Don't listen to the veteran status stuff or nothing like that.
Yeah, because if you
Yeah,
served, you
yeah,
served.
you
Especially if
serve,
you
you
made it
serve.
through basic training in AIT.
And we have a son, not to put him out there, but he did less time than that. He has his percentage of 100%.
That one got 70.
Yeah, seventy
But the other ones
percent.
got
But
100.
it's things we go through that the I mean it's a small percentage of us. We go through that the rest of the world won't understand, and it's not their fault. And we connect no matter where we at. I don't care where we at, what race we are. We just connect. I laugh because Tammy almost hates to see. No, she don't hate. That's a strong word. She just patiently walk away and find something to do whenever I wear this hat or whatever in Costco's or whatever because we just connect with. Sometimes we
War
don't.
stories, baby.
Sometimes we don't even know each other, and we just before I know it, we picking at each other's branch of service. We laugh about it, and we thanking each other, and we found out that a lot of us cross paths in the military, regardless whether it was different commands or what have you. As support.
Especially here.
Yeah,
It's such a big Navy town.
yeah, and it's amazing. I have a brother in the military now. I call him a brother. He might look at this someday, but I call him a brother because I love him as a brother, and we go back to over 30 years, and it was so good to run into him after 30 years, and I hope to see him again sometime because you don't get that opportunity that much.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely.
That said, those of you in there, one day we'll do a live on that. What I went through to get my percentages because of a lot of what I hear is that I don't need that, and the VA has a lot to offer, even if you don't feel like you need it, because you may have a significant other, you may have children, you may have you just get that white ID card. You might have good insurance on the outside, but it don't help. It don't hurt to have a place where you can get your glasses covered or your hearing covered or your all these things 100%, or maybe certain medications on for free or almost for free. It don't hurt. So
It makes a difference.
and it's not what you call entitlement. It's you serve.
It's what you deserve.
Yeah, it's you serve.
We talk to people
Yeah,
all the time
yeah,
because he does, and I kind of chime in because I tell him, I said, it's not really that you particularly need it, but it's yours.
right,
You deserve it. You served your country. You put your
right.
life on the line because we've been at war for what, 40 years now,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
So so you served your country, and you at any time you could have died for your country.
I,
So you deserve that.
I chuckle when Tammy said we've been in war for 40 years because when and a lot of military people can relate to this, when I hear certain civilians talking about who's more powerful than us and who can do this or that to us, I'd be like, regardless what you think about the military today compared to yesterday or what have you, it's the greatest, and the 40 years plus to prove it, it's a lot of proof that nobody has. And that's not bragging, that's just saying where we stand. And peace is the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
And I wish the world would think like that, because if you ever been in combat, you ever been to, it's nothing to brag about. It's nothing you're proud of. It's nothing you want to do again. And I was that person that said, if we don't have to go, we we don't go. But if we go, I'm ready. That's what I'm trained for. Well, that was my profession at the time. And some of us, we look back on it and say, "What was I thinking to choose a profession of war?" And then you get out here, you have all this great training in it, all this college education, and sometimes they tell you, even though you're trained better than a lot of civilians, they tell you, "Oh well, you was in there. You don't have enough training for this job." Wait, I did that job under triple the stress. Like medical. Our medics. Yeah, my nephew. I'm getting a little deeper. My nephew tried to do what I did. I went through Fort Jackson, South Carolina, did a lateral over to the Navy where I didn't have to go through basic. That's another thing that can kind of hurt you because you don't get the knowledge that you should have. But my nephew did the same thing, but he was in the medical field. So he said, "Hey, let me do what my uncle did." And so he got deployed to a mountain unit, uh, 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 um, a mountain, oh man, a mountain recon unit with the Marines.
Oh.
And his job, well, he was on the dental side of medical. So his job was to identify what couldn't and shouldn't be identified. So he he got home. He's one of the guys. He came back home. He stayed with my sister. My sister couldn't understand what he went through. I think he's still working on his percentage. I was shocked when I heard he didn't get all his percentage and stuff because of what he's seen in combat. But it's some of the things we do. We don't want to go back to that. There's a lot of people that say I put it back on and go back today. And I'm one of the people that say, no, let the younger people do it, let the other people do it.
Never again. What?
Yeah. And I hope none of us have to do it. Let's keep a prayer for peace for the world, for whatever's going on around the world.
Yes.
There's a lot going on.
And also,
yeah.
So many people are speaking on the things that are going on around the world. What we want to say is educate yourself before you be out here spouting words and talking about things you don't know about.
Right.
Look into things. Look at the history of things. Look at what's really going on, because there's so much distraction out here, that we see
on the news, especially.
Yeah, and so you want to really pay attention, and you want to really look at things, and then also, look at them intuitively as well.
World history is important.
World history, yes, because
world is small.
Because a lot of times you're looking at things from one vantage point, or from the vantage point that they're giving you on the news.
Right.
And y'all know sometimes the news have shit on a slant. Y'all heard Martin Lawrence talk about that.
Yeah, even when we were overseas, I saved a newspaper article one day that my family thought we was in serious danger because people just sprout out stuff sometime from other countries, and they said what they were going to do to America, and we happened to be the closest combat unit next to them, but it couldn't have happened in their dreams. But because the news blasted it out, made it look like, oh man, uh, my baby's gonna be gone over there. But at the same time, just learn to open books. Oh, now you don't even have to open books. You can open,
You open your phone.
yeah, you can just search and see what's going on in the world. World's a small place. Don't argue with no one on it over it. Don't disagree because you can't make somebody understand the truth
No.
because some people can't handle the truth.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. We laugh at it because we know the movie. Some of you are kind of young to know the movie, but you can't handle the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I love that Marine colonel that said that at the time in the movie. Jack Nicklaus, for those of you. Yeah,
Yeah. What was it? A Few Good Men.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That was one of the best.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna land it, right?
Yeah. Miss Landis.
Hey, it's just great talking to you.
Yeah. Good to
It's
see y'all.
I thank you for tapping. If you couldn't do the gift thing, you tap the screen on TikTok, the stars. Share the live. Thank you for sharing the
Yes.
live. Um, Thank you for just telling people about it.
Yeah.
Tammy's a great writer. She does a lot of things. Some of her books are behind her right here. That's one of her books, but she's got so much writing and so
Yeah.
so many promises and of things to come even.
Yes. So I have a workshop, y'all. I have a workshop because I specialize in helping people with their intuition. And if you follow me, you know that, and you've seen a lot of the things that I talk about, the chakras and the auras and different things like that. And so this workshop coming up is called Awakening Your Intuition, and I'm talking about opening your intuition, your spiritual gifts, and all of this. And I have exercises that we're going to do, and also a meditation journey because I do those too. So that is going to be on the 17th. The link is in the bio if you would like to join. It's going to be fun. It's going to be about 2 hours long. I think 17th from, don't make me lie, I think it's 11 a.m. Pacific time to 1 p.m. And it may not even go quite that long, but that's about as long as I've given it because I want to cover, all of the gifts and make sure that you understand how you can use these gifts because that really is the key. Because everybody talks about them, but a lot of times, we don't get enough information or, feedback on how to use them and how to, I have exercises that you can do that will help you to open them up and you'll be able to use your intuition in ways, in every way for your job, your business, children, everything in all areas.
Yeah.
And really, it's just a way to, come back from, what we lost when we were 7. Really a way to open that back up, that connection to spirit. So join me there, and the link is in the bio. So you can go to the bios and click that link and sign up. It's going to be amazing. I'm so excited about it. And then if you're on Facebook, you can come and join my group, Awakening Your Intuition, where we cover a lot of that stuff.
Subscribe
Yes, and subscribe. Yes,
to all our channel.
subscribe. Yeah. So that's what we got, right?
Yeah.
And we'll be back on, as far as we know, next Sunday. We like to come on Sundays, but sometimes if we can't, we just can't.
Right.
That's another way that we don't put stress on ourselves. Because if we're too tired or it was too much going on in the day or whatever, then we don't do it. Especially because y'all know I have come on here and looked super exhausted. And so we try not to do that. Because we want to spread love and positivity, and we want all of our frequencies to be elevated.
Peace, power, and love.
Yes, peace, power, and love. I like that.
Yeah.
All right, so we are out. We're Audi 5000.
Thank you again.
Thank y'all for hanging out with us. Thank you for everything.
Drop us some notes in the inbox if you want to hear something different or want to add to it.
Yeah, if
or
you want to
have
ask some
any
questions.
advice or questions.
And something you want us to talk about and share, because we're open to that. All right. So have a wonderful rest of your day, evening, night, or weekend. Bye now. Thank you, Tiffany, for joining. Hey, Dr. Marnie, thank you for joining.
Oh, man.